Hey Libra, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings. Take what works, leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. And did you know that I actually always post the photos of the cards at the end of the video so that you can check them out? Let's see. And also, if I don't catch your wavelength or storyline on this reading, go check your other major placements. And we're starting off with the Oracle decks, and then we'll move on to a more traditional tarot spread with a more traditional tarot deck, which is a new deck for my channel, Crow Tarot. Oh, okay. All right, let's start here. This is a good place to start. This is always the right place to start. Get grounded. Maybe doing some root meditation, spending some time alone, earthing. Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. So, so we're connecting with the earth. We're meditating. We're getting deeply connected to some really grounded energy. Honestly, I don't know how people function without that, but people do apparently. So. But that's the top order of the day, the get grounded, meditation, that kind of thing. Boundaries, where do you need to establish better boundaries? Speaking up, saying what works and what doesn't work for you. Better boundaries. Some people need some slightly more porous boundaries. They're very good at keeping everybody out and everybody at arm's length. Some people need a lot better boundaries, defining where they end and the other person begins. We can't be, boundaries also indicate sort of some codependent issues, possibly, of needing other people to be happy with you more than you, getting your needs met. So this is making sure that you're able to speak up, making sure that you're able to say what you like, what you don't like, what you want, what you don't want. And by the way, wanting everyone around you to be happy. Especially with empaths, you feel other people's emotions. So a way to control your environment and to control your emotions and what you're feeling and what you're being exposed to is, of course, to make all the people around you happy. But this is saying that's not the only way to happiness. Set some good boundaries. That good fences do make good neighbors. So let people know when they're overstepping their bounds. Communication is key, new moon in Gemini. You might have to set up this boundary and communicate about what you want and what you don't want without really knowing how it's going to be received or how it's going to be responded to. That's indicated to me by this new moon here. We act into the darkness. We sprout, we sprout. I'm seeing, of course, a seed coming up into darkness, not understanding quite where it all goes and quite where it all leads, but beginning a conversation, opening up a conversation about something, possibly about boundaries or about who you are and what's compromisable and what's not compromisable. So communication is key. Talking about good boundaries. Get grounded first, though. And you may be headed into a little bit of an unknown territory here, not knowing how the other person in the situation is going to respond, but revealing something or something being revealed to you. But there is, communication is key. Opening up about something without having without having a lot of clarity about how it's going to be received. We do also have soul family. Call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. So if you're setting boundaries, definitely it's important to get support that you trust on the boundary setting. Sometimes if we are setting boundaries, we do have some sort of, it can feel weird if you're not used to setting boundaries. It can feel strange or like you're being a jerk or something like that by not letting other people be a jerk to you. But soul family, call in your tribe. So you may be setting boundaries, and just because you're setting boundaries with someone and communicating about it doesn't mean that person isn't meant to be in your life, or doesn't mean that person can't be an important support for you. So there's something about a deep connection here with someone who's here to help. There's a sense of mutual support here. And then we also have believe in the impossible, blue moon. So the impossible might mean several things for you. I think Virgo got this last week, believe in the impossible. And to me, another way of looking at that is to understand that we do live in a universe of infinite possibilities. So this conversation, you don't know where it's going to go. You don't know what's going to happen with it. Anything could happen with it. Even something you don't think is very likely could happen with it. So there's some sort of soul connection here. You're believing in the impossible. You may have to set some good boundaries, but you need to communicate. And the foundation of all of that is getting grounded, as is every foundation. Like literally, the foundation of a house is very grounded, right? If it's not grounded, your house is probably going to slide off your hillside, or there's that right. My past education, religious education, is coming in here with a wise man built his house upon a rock, and the foolish man built his house upon the sand. And when the rains came, they washed the house away, much like the little spider. Am I getting those confused? Yeah. So no, they wash it. So anyway, getting grounded, a good solid concrete foundation on solid ground. That's what meditation gives us. So this is your past, your present, your inner landscape. What's at issue? Your environment, to-do list, and possible outcome. I seem to be having some sort of strange reaction just to this deck right now. I think I have to change decks. I'm not going to change decks. I just had a strong reaction, I guess. These cards are really, they're not wonderful, but they're important. So I don't really want to change the message, but I am having an intense reaction here. So in your recent past, we have Six of Pentacles. This is some sort of, this is the flow of resources through the universe, some sort of back and forth, some sort of reciprocation, waiting for your turn to receive. You might be waiting to receive something, waiting for something, some energy you've put out into the universe to come back to you. This is sort of talking about cosmic balance and all things being balanced, and one of these crows here has what they need and the other one doesn't, and there's a sense of flow of resources, generosity, planned generosity, trying to balance out sort of resources. So there could be, there was a sense of sort of I see an expectation of wealth coming in, of an expectation of some sort of balanced situation, but it's just hovering over this crow, which is always the sense I get from Six of Coins myself, is that there's a sense of flow, like resources flow over here and flow over there. We don't necessarily do bean counting resources of like one bean for you, one bean for you. Just scoop, someone gets a cup, scoop, someone gets a cup. And you're waiting for and if there's a moment where it's like that person got a whole cup of beans and I have nothing, but just waiting your turn, waiting for the resources to come in. So the resources here, hovering here, about to come in to balance things out. That was your recent past, maybe some expectation, maybe some receipt, but I'm not seeing that in this card. In your current situation, you have Nine of Wands. This is our wounded warrior. This is a battle has been done, has been completed here. It's typically like wanting to go home. Things aren't, it's like you didn't get paid. You put a bunch of work into something and you never got paid for it, or you're wounded, you're tired, you'd like to be done. And then we also have, in your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape, echoing this same message, is this Ten of Wands. This is being done with the situation, being done carrying a burden, carrying something that maybe was inspiring to you at some point. Maybe there were a lot of shoulds associated with it, where you thought you should be doing something, wanting to end that sort of expectation. So I'm going to read those together as we have the wounded warrior wanting to put this wand down, wanting to put this sword down, being done. The clouds want to come in. There's a sense of wanting to quit something, but not being able to, not being allowed to. And then this 10 of Wands is definitely like, this burden's too heavy, you want to put it down. So both of these cards together are talking about something that we're seeking an end to. We're wanting to put this down. We're wanting to let go of something, other people's expectations, other people's ideas, other people's expectations of what we were supposed to do. And even in the 9 of Wands, there's a sense of, you're not still in this battle because you want to be. You're still in this battle because you have to be, because you're not being allowed or released, allowed to go home yet. You're not, this is the wounded warrior. The battle's been harsh. These wands have been bruised and broken. The inspiration has gone. There is no more inspiration here. And yet we still are doing what we must, even though we're ready to be done with something, ready for it to be over, ready for it, wanting it, looking for an opportunity to put this down. This is a huge number of wands. We maybe had one was the one we were wanting to fight one battle, but instead we've fought 100. And there's just this sense of weariness and wanting to be done with something, and ready to be done with something, and ready to put a burden down. So, and ready for that release, ready for that lightness, that weight being released from you as you put other people's expectations, other people's labels, other people's ideas of what you should be doing, of what your dreams should have been, of what you needed to accomplish, other people's to-do list. It's like, sometimes, living in with other people, we arrive here and it's like they give us this, our whole culture can give us a whole to-do list of, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. Half of that shit might not be anything you're even interested in. And yet you keep going, you keep trying to fulfill this dream that you were handed when you got here. And it's not your dream. It's the dream of people long since passed, and their dreams should pass with them as well. So there's a sense of not being allowed to, but you're very ready. You're looking for the opportunity. You're looking for the moment to finally put some sort of expectation down. What's at issue here? Came out in the upright, which is probably operator error. But since I do this so much, I think that operator error is, we're just going to go with it. In the upright, man, this is all about, there's so many wands here. Good grief. Well, yeah, that's where we're going anyway. So, good grief. 7 of Wands. So this is going to be, fighting for your right to be king of the mountain. You made it somewhere. You've made it somewhere, and you're fighting for your right to be there. You are fighting for your right, for your vision to be brought into reality. You're fighting for, there might be a part of yourself that's struggling, that's fighting. There's this burden that that has you tired and uninspired. But there's some part of you that is very inspired, that is still struggling, is still fighting, is still, I've made it this far, I'm not going to give up. And I wanted to read the book on this one because I really like where it is. I really like how she phrases this. The crow tries to defend his territory at the top of the mountain. The approaching crows below are all too eager to knock him down and take his spot. The card is a reminder that although you've made it, you must not be complacent, as there will be those who believe your position should be theirs. The 7 of Wands asks that you remain self-confident and have courage when facing challenges. It won't always be easy at the top, but you've earned the right to be there. So you've accomplished something. You've accomplished something the right way. You've earned your right to be there, right? but you have to continue holding that space, right? Holding on to what you have accomplished. So you're not giving up. This crow is tired. This crow is tired. This crow is exhausted. But this crow has a right to be here. So even though you want to give up, even though you're tired, you have to keep going. There is something here that you are still meant to do, that you're still meant to accomplish. And you have a right to lead. You have a right to this position here. And then in your environment, we have King of Pentacles. There's someone around you that has a lot of money and has accomplished or a lot of leadership. They have accomplished something. They have achieved something. King of Pentacles does a lot of planning. They know how to get from nothing to the top of the hill, right? This is someone that knows how to maintain that and knows how to hop up even to another ledge. So this king has, it's a person, it's a court card, so we could be talking about a person. They're very externally focused. They have everything they need. They live in abundance. But it's a pentacle, so it was slow going, and this may have been what you were waiting for. This may have been this king up here to bequeath some goods, and you're not getting any. You're this one right here, or maybe you were this one. Maybe you did get something and someone else didn't get anything. Anyway, this king could be here trying to deliver some goods, or there's a king in your environment. There's someone who knows how to achieve things, how to accomplish things in the material world, how to create their world exactly the way they want it. So there's somebody there. You maybe want to tap them for some advice. Maybe they think they're more entitled to your spot than you are. And then... or it's someone you know that's part of this story somehow. This could be one of your soul family people coming in here. And then here's your to-do list, your area of greatest growth, what you're most needing to interact with. Is this the energy you most need to interact with? Is this 5 of Cups? It's grief, feeling sad for what's been lost, everything that's gone. This can be a very healing process. So we're not stuck here. We're not staying here. But, to put it away, to push it off to the side is a denial and is not going to allow for true happiness, right? This is allowing the flow of emotions, allowing this flow of grief, of sadness, of what's been lost, what's been left behind. It's all part of this flow, but we do have so much. And when we're ready, we can turn around and find some gratitude for what we do have and enjoy what we do have and actually take some pleasure in what we do have. But there is a moment where we're letting something go. We're allowing a grief to come in. So we have a lot of cards about letting something go. You still have a right to do what you're doing. You still have a right to be where you're at, to fight for what you want, and to hold your position. You still have that right, even though there is like a grief of letting something go, and you are letting something go, and it doesn't feel very good. So you're doing that, but it's all in service of the future. It's in service of what you do have. It's all part of that natural process of letting those emotions flow through us and making sure we're not stopping anything up and creating blockages in our body or somatizing our emotions into our body, but we're really experiencing them, really feeling them, and really letting. I mean, there's nothing you can do to stop it anyway. It's flowing out, it's flowing out. And water is meant to flow, so it's part of life, this flow. And then you're letting it go. So this thing that you want to let go of, it requires a grief process and some sadness to let go of it. And then where you're headed, a possible outcome is just hanging out here. Well, now, here you are. You had a grief process and you're just going to be hanging out. Same old for a while. Might be time to think about some things, figure some things out. look at things from different perspectives, understand things in different ways, look at things from different perspectives, but there's not going to be a lot of change coming in. So there's like a stasis point here, and that might provide an opportunity for you to grieve, or to look at your losses and to understand your losses, which sounds like the most depressing advice ever, but that's what we're getting here, is like allowing that grief process, allowing that to come, and then staying in this position for a while. Not a lot of change coming in. Yeah. Strange reading. On the one hand, there's a lot of cohesion here. On the other hand, it feels like it jumps around a little bit. But I hope it's helpful for you, Libra. Thank you so much for your likes, subscribes, and comments.